It's been very difficult for me because everything that I've wanted to say over each and every plenary and speaker or question and answer session has been so critical and valuable, and I think maybe I made an assumption that a lot of people in this room wouldn't be able to have some of the critical discussions that are needed to be had by those of leadership and power. And if you look at this image, I want you to actually arrest your initial thoughts, your raw initial thoughts, and look at specifically the horn. And look at the horn acknowledging your power in terms of institutional backing, in terms of knowledge, your privilege, in terms of economic prosperity, in terms of having worked and survived, because many of us are survivors. And I think more importantly for me, it's now an understanding that it's really about sharing the stories. And so I'd like you to imagine if you bumped into me in one of your public toilets within this facility. The public toilet that you use. I want you to arrest that reaction and understand it. And then I want you to imagine a woman saying, "Hi guys," to a group, a diverse group. I want you to arrest that erasure of gender. And lastly, I want you to imagine this very country. There was a video from a premier from one of the provinces where they were mentioning how in the ministerial handbook, a car is considered unsafe for a minister, someone in cabinet, when it has reached 120,000 kilometers. Yet there are ambulances in this beautiful country that I spent 10 years in that are at 920,000 kilometers for the most vulnerable, sickly, at their worst. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge and realize that even if we have exited as a result of education, transformed ourselves as a result of opportunities, there are certain inherent issues we experience as a people that will continue to haunt us. And this is something that I never realized up until I had a friend who told me that they were sexually assaulted. And this person, and how I knew and understood that there are many things that people survive and live through even without knowing that they're victims. Because it was me 6 years before in this beautiful country. And I think it's important to understand that the law is not everything, human rights is not everything, because the harm and the pain that exists today, the law comes in after the fact. When someone speaks on your behalf, when you are the image of poverty that's put on the screen, when you have been used in an extractive manner to capture the lived experiences within data that is supposed to inform policies and law. 2 different decriminalization court petitions. Botswana, having decriminalized on the 11th of June. Unfortunately, the Court of Appeal, not the Court, the Attorney General will be appealing. Kenya did the exact opposite. Yet society remained the same, intolerant, in disgust. And I want to sit here and sort of observe and understand that it is even within the safe spaces that we're still erased. Where people speak about development priorities, the lack of resources. Since when does equality, respect, ubuntu need money? Why is there a difference in acknowledging that the power of bodily autonomy and making informed decisions is different from that in changing gender markers in your identity? And how do you expect me as a body whose grandmother still depends on agriculture in rural Zimbabwe, to sit there and say, I can only choose climate, or I can only choose HIV, when I'm not defined by HIV. It's not just exclusive to Africa. Black bodies are violated. And there is a reason why they call it hate speech, hate crime, corrective rape, because there's an incessant additional aspect of intolerance and hate. Ken Fak Toby, it will be exactly a year in September, was killed at 20-year-old by his own brother for assumed sexual orientation. And these are the narratives that we must live with, and the harm. And then in the safe spaces, the people that we look up to, that we turn to, tell us that we're invalid, and that our experiences in the larger scale of things aren't as important. And now my question to you is, what is the common denominator in the threat to reproductive rights, in the existence of gender diversity? Lack of financing. OCHCR had a financial crisis where treaty bodies, our accountability mechanisms, where we are heard in Geneva and not in our own homes. Political. And we have seen time and time again where there are judgments that are delivered that are really questionable in elections, questionable in decriminalization, and the reality is that politics is always an influence. So I think that's an important factor. Even the compromise to the independence of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights is a result of politics that was attached to sexual orientation with the Coalition of African Lesbians. So it's sharing these stories and highlighting them. And I think what's important also is in terms of language. You know, we're not talking about political will anymore. It's political urgency. It's not climate change. It's a climate crisis. And that's the conversations we need to be having. You can be an expert, but the reality is that the person who is living on the ground is really the expert of their life. And they see the urgency and the crisis in terms of their experiences. And I think, you know, the change in laws does not necessarily mean equity. So I think we need to stop speaking equality. It's not effective, it's not meaningful, it doesn't acknowledge the outlier, the person that has survived. And so there's a need to try and understand what equity means. So that means the practices, policies, people being changed. And this is the reality. You can sit there and say, you know, we can't necessarily have representation because there's never enough time, never enough resources, and never enough space. But the reality is that if we're not accepted in our homes, if we're not accepted by our governments, if we're not accepted by UN agencies, then who do we turn to? So I think that's important. And I think something as simple as, there was a mention of self-care, and I think it's important that we must acknowledge that, you know, there is so much work that goes into this, and as a vessel of human rights abuses and injustices and stories that you carry, imagine having a call and someone telling you that they want to commit suicide. How do you balance that? There's an opportunity cost to self-care, and I think there's a need for the development narrative to actually change this, because it's important to acknowledge that, you know, in as much as a cup must fill other cups, it must also be self-fulfilled. And I think we need to sort of understand what the future will look like. What does it mean to be future fit? What will 2030 bring? What does the civic space actually look like? And I think it's important for us to acknowledge that when someone has been able to survive and exit as a result of whatever assumed privilege and power they have gained, it's important to note that that voice might have been a voice 10 years ago, but they do not experience the same experiences that I experience. Living and experiencing the injustice at a retail store, or when trying to certify a copy of my identity card. That person has an experience from 10 years ago, and when they return to my country, they return as a tourist and with an additional horn. And I think what's important is also just sort of acknowledging that, sorry,
last point.
So much. Yes, last point. So I think the most important thing for me is really in just sort of ensuring that we bridge rather than polarize. So you might not necessarily have the answers, bring in the person when you need to have that deliberation. And I think more importantly, or easier, if you hire someone who'll be able to answer those, then you've effectively exercised your leadership.